What's up guys, welcome back to Van TV Media. If you're new, please just consider subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that in case we do upload any story, you will be the first one to view. My people, we are going to this story that is happening in Tanzania, whereby you see the opposition leader was detained. Opposition leader has been detained, and there is some issue that was going around on last week. There's an issue that was going around whereby there are some of the activists from Kenya to look on the case, how the proceeding of the case of Tundu Lissu of Tanzania. But the government of Tanzania arrested some of the activists and some leaders here in Kenya, who is Martha Karua, was deported from Tanzania. Tanzania were not allowing anyone from outside Tanzania to go and hear the proceeding of the court. Even there is an activist who came from Uganda also was detained, and later they were released. But it has been said that those activists were tortured. So there is protest that happened in United States IMF building, where people who are from Tanzania but they are abroad are protesting on about the leadership of their country Tanzania, whereby they were protesting and urging IMF not to fund the ruling party of Tanzania, cause they are using that money to sponsor police, so that police can discriminate the residents of Tanzania, or to discriminate the people who are coming in to assist the opposition leader Tundu Lissu. So people are protesting outside the building, and this is what they were all about.
We choose this location, IMF, because IMF is a development partner with Tanzania, and we see that there are some violations of human rights, democracy, and rule of law, which are in contrary or against the principles of IMF. So we are here just to tell IMF that the money you're giving to these people, they don't do what they're supposed to do. They violate human rights. They use that money to pay police overtime, like the other day on April 24th, when Tundu Lissu had to appear in court, but he didn't. Police were paid overtime just to brutalize citizens. So we are here just to tell IMF, please do not sponsor these dictators. The end result is IMF to hear us, to understand that we, as a Tanzanian diaspora, most of us work in this country. We pay taxes, and we don't want our taxes money to be sent to dictators. So we're asking IMF to investigate, to do forensic audit with the money they're giving Tanzanians, Tanzanian government, just to do forensic audit. If the money they give, do they do what they're supposed to do? And if there are any human rights violations, if there are corruptions, like I just said, there's a document which has been leaked. Some government official spends almost 1 billion shillings, and these people don't even make $40,000 a year. So we want IMF to investigate the money they give to Tanzania, and to reassess the conditions, and if Tanzanian government really abide to human rights and rule of law.
Yes, the people of Tanzania who are abroad in diaspora, they were protesting in Washington DC, in the building of IMF and World Bank. They were protesting to urge them that not to fund the ruling party of Tanzania, who is the president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu, on claiming that the ruling party is using those funds to do what? To discriminate people who are willing to go and fight the to go and assist Tundu Lissu. So this is what is happening in the diaspora, where there are some of the people, of course you remember European Union talked about what is happening in Tanzania and urged President Samia Suluhu to release Tundu Lissu, but President has not responded on that.
The arrest has drawn international condemnation. The European Union Parliament recently passed a resolution condemning the arrest of Tundu Lissu and other opposition figures, urging the Tanzanian government to immediately release him and respect democratic freedoms.
International organizations like Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, or the International Democracy Union have condemned Lissu's arrest, with many calls for his release and condemnation of the attacks on political freedoms and human rights. The EU contributes hundreds of millions of euros to Tanzania through various initiatives. We have to be very clear that any European cooperation investment has to be tied to progress in the areas of the rule of law and human rights. The European Commission must closely monitor developments, and especially Tundu's trial.
When asked about evidence, they have alleged that the Tanzanian government is violating the rule of law. Libe had this to say.
The very, very recent proof and example is April 24th, when Honorable Tundu Lissu had to appear in court. Police officers abducted civilians at the court premises, put them in on their cars, took them to unknown places, 10th of Tanzanians, and tortured them, broke their legs, broke their hands, their arms, and the worst, broke their spinal cord. We have that in the documentation, and that has been reported in the BBC, reported in Al Jazeera, reported in CNN, in all media. So these are clear violations of human rights, and I don't think United States and IMF should deal with these kinds of human violations, and they should never ever sponsor or give finance or funds to such kind of government.
We want to finance people who embrace democracy.
Yes.
That is what people have decided to come up in solidarity.
Hello and welcome to Van TV Media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends to get daily updates.